November 18, 2018, East Rutherford, NJ, USA. New York Giants wide receiver Sterling Shepard, 87, celebrates after a reception during the first half against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at MetLife Stadium. Mandatory credit, Vincent Carchietta-USA TODAY Sports. Vincent Carchietta. The Giants and WR Sterling Shepard are working on a contract extension that is expected to be worth $41 million over 4 years, SNY's Ralph Vacchiano confirmed on Wednesday. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, the deal has $21.3 million in guaranteed money. Shepard was entering a contract year, with his rookie deal expiring at the end of the season. There was no notion the Giants were interested in bringing back the Oklahoma product, let alone extension talks taking place. Rumors were floating around saying the Giants would want to shop Shepard, so they wouldn't let another talent walk into free agency like Landon Collins did this offseason. However, sources told Vacchiano the Giants never had any intention to trade Shepard. When Odell Beckham Jr. was dealt to the Browns, the team knew that Shepard needed to be signed long-term. Teams, like the Patriots, as Garafolo points out, may have called GM Dave Gettleman to see if Shepard was available, but those talks weren't going to be anything more than that. Another reason many believed Shepard's days in New York were coming to an end was after the Giants gave veteran WR Golden Tate a 4-year, $37.5 million deal with $22.95 million guaranteed at signing. Tate and Shepard are almost identical receivers, even when it comes down to height and weight. Both are good route runners that have a knock for getting open and converting on third down in their careers, but Vacchiano learned the Giants don't necessarily view these two as the same receiver. Instead, the team has faith that either Shepard or Tate can work on the outside instead of just the slot, and their skill sets will be complements of one another for years to come. Pat Shurmur on Sterling Shepard and Golden Tate. Tate's skill set is like Sterling's. They're gritty blockers and you can play them on the edge and in the slot. They have both done good work in the slot and have had production outside. You can play both guys wherever. Ralph Vacchiano, at Vacchiano, April 10, 2019. In the end, the Giants are committing to a player who has grown through their system into a solid receiving option. Shepard was drafted in the second round, 40th overall, of the 2016 NFL Draft, and is now the first player in that draft to receive a contract extension. Over his 3 years in Big Blue, Shepard has totaled 2,286 yards on 190 receptions with 14 touchdowns and a 64.6 catch percentage. Last season, he had his best year in yards with 872 on 66 catches and 4 touchdowns. New York Giants general manager Dave Gettleman speaks to the media during the 2019 NFL Combine at the Indianapolis Convention Center. Brian Spurlock, USA Today Sports. Ralph Vacchiano, Facebook, Twitter, archive. With only 2 weeks left until the NFL Draft kicks off, here's a look at how the Giants might use their 12 picks. First round, 6 overall, the LB Montez Sweat, Mississippi State. September 18, 2017, East Rutherford, NJ, USA. New York Giants wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. 13, screams before a game against the Detroit Lions at MetLife Stadium. Mandatory credit, Brad Penner, USA Today Sports. Brad Penner, after the Giants traded him to the Browns, Odell Beckham Jr. was hurt. Shortly after that, he was excited. Now, he seems to be taking parting shots. Here's how Beckham captioned his recent Instagram post, October 7, 2018, Charlotte, North Carolina, USA. New York Giants wide receiver Russell Shepard, 81, looks on after a touchdown against the Carolina Panthers during the second half at Bank of America Stadium. Mandatory credit, Jim Dedman, USA Today Sports. Jim Dedman, wide receiver Russell Shepard announced he's re-signing with the Giants. Shepard shared the news in an Instagram post, writing, "Extremely happy to be back with the gang." In 10 games with the Giants last season, Shepard had 10 catches for 188 yards and 2 touchdowns. The 28-year-old special teams contributions likely played a role in the Giants bringing him back, but he'll provide depth as the Giants make plans at wide receiver in the wake of trading Odell Beckham Jr. to Cleveland. December 30, 2018, Seattle, Washington, USA, Arizona Cardinals quarterback Josh Rosen, 3, during warm-ups prior to the game against the Seattle Seahawks at CenturyLink Field. Mandatory credit, Stephen Bissig, USA Today Sports. Stephen Bissig, Ralph Vacchiano, Facebook, Twitter, Archive. Josh Rosen reported for work bright and early on Monday morning in Tempe, Arizona, beating all of his teammates to the start of the Arizona Cardinals off-season workouts, as if everything was normal. Of course, everything is not normal for Rosen, whom many around the NFL expect to be traded in the next 2 weeks. And the second-year quarterback could even end up in a bidding war between the Redskins and Giants in the NFC East. August 17, 2018, Detroit, Michigan, USA, New York Giants head coach Pat Shurmur during the game against the Detroit Lions at Ford Field. Mandatory credit, Tim Fuller, USA Today Sports. Tim Fuller. The Giants announced their preseason opponents Tuesday. They will open the set of exhibition games against the Jets at MetLife Stadium during Week 1, August 8-12, before hosting the Bears during Week 2, August 15-19. The Giants will travel to Cincinnati for a date with the Bengals during Week 3, August 22-25, and wrap up the preseason by heading to Foxborough, Massachusetts for a finale with the Patriots. It's the 15th consecutive year the Giants and Patriots have ended the preseason against each other. In November 11, 2018, Kansas City, Missouri, USA, Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes, 15, shakes hands with Arizona Cardinals quarterback Josh Rosen, 3, after the game at Arrowhead Stadium. The Chiefs won 26-14. Mandatory credit, Denny Medley, USA Today Sports. Denny Medley. Josh Rosen seems to have left a good impression on at least one of his former teammates, DeMarcus Golden, whom the Giants signed to a one-year deal this offseason, praised the Cardinals quarterback on Twitter after NFL Network's Ian Rapoport tweeted that he was the first player in the building on the first day of off-season conditioning. Golden said that should hardly be a surprise to anyone that knows Rosen. October 11, 2018, East Rutherford, NJ, USA, New York Giants wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. 13, adjusts his helmet during the fourth quarter against the Philadelphia Eagles at MetLife Stadium. Mandatory credit, Brad Penner, USA Today Sports. Brad Penner. Odell Beckham Jr.'s first feeling after the Giants traded him to the Browns wasn't relief or excitement. It was hurt. He was hurt. He was hurt initially, Von Miller of the Broncos recently said, according to NFL.com. He loved New York. He loved his teammates. He loved the team. Whenever you get hit with something like that, you're going to be hurt. You're going to feel some type of disappointment with that. Beckham was pretty quiet after the trade, posted something on social media the next day about joining the Browns, and then opened up during his introductory presser in Cleveland. According to Miller, Beckham's switch from being hurt to excited was quick. October 20, 2018, Annapolis, MD, USA, Houston Cougars defensive tackle Ed Oliver, 10, applies pressure on Navy midshipmen quarterback Garrett Lewis, 7, as guard David Forney, 68, blocks during the second quarter at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. Mandatory credit, Tommy Gilligan, USA Today Sports. Tommy Gilligan. With the NFL Draft less than 3 weeks away, the Giants are bringing 2 top defensive line prospects in for visits, reports Ian Rapoport of NFL.com. Clemson DeClellan Farrell and Houston DT Ed Oliver, whose visit was expected, will be meeting with Big Blue. The Giants, who have the number 6 and 0. 17 picks in the draft, have a bunch of different ways they can go with either pick, and selecting a defensive player with one or both of their picks is a possibility. March 2, 2019, Indianapolis, Indiana, USA, Ohio State quarterback Dwayne Haskins, QB05, throws a pass during the 2019 NFL Combine at Lucas Oil Stadium. Mandatory credit, Brian Spurlock, USA Today Sports. Brian Spurlock. With the NFL Draft inching closer, the narrative is starting to change on some players, particularly Ohio State quarterback Dwayne Haskins. When Haskins declared for the draft in January, he was regarded as the top quarterback in the class. When Kyler Murray declared, Haskins was regarded as the next one off the board. Now it appears Haskins' stock is sliding even further. To anyone following the NFL draft, it is no secret that the Cardinals, owners of the first overall selection this year, have their sights set on Kyler Murray. That is why the prospect of Arizona trading away their first-rounder last season in Josh Rosen has swirled around NFL rumors for weeks now. The Giants are at the top of those rumors, being a team that needs a quarterback solution after Eli Manning and has the draft capital to make a deal happen. However, the Cardinals haven't officially put Rosen on the market, and that could be the case all the way up to or through the draft. The Cardinals likely received calls already from teams looking into Rosen, and the Giants may be on that list. But what about offers thrown Arizona's way? March 2, 2019, Indianapolis, Indiana, USA, Penn State quarterback Trace McSorley, QB09, throws a pass during the 2019 NFL Combine at Lucas Oil Stadium. Mandatory credit, Brian Spurlock, USA Today Sports. Brian Spurlock, as the Giants search for the heir apparent to Eli Manning, they decided to bring in somebody who is quite familiar with their star running back, Saquon Barkley. Penn State's Trace McSorley visited with the Giants on Friday, according to Matt Lombardo of NJ.com. McSorley was among several players in attendance for the team's local Pro Day, which consists of an unlimited number of incoming players with geographic tie to the team's home market. Dave Gettleman, the Giants hold the No. 6 overall pick in the NFL Draft, which is at least close to where GM Dave Gettleman thinks teams find gold jacket players. It's an enormously important pick for this semi-rebuilding franchise. But their second first-round pick, 17th overall, is the most intriguing one. That's where the Giants appear to have the most options and far more uncertainty than they'll find at the top of the draft. At 6, their choices seem to be to grab the best of what's left of the top-tier defenders or select Ohio State quarterback Dwayne Haskins to be Eli Manning's eventual successor. December 30, 2018, Seattle, Washington, USA, Arizona Cardinals quarterback Josh Rosen, 3, passes the ball against the Seattle Seahawks during the first half at CenturyLink Field. Mandatory credit, Stephen Bissig, USA Today Sports. Stephen Bissig, Ralph Vacchiano, Facebook, Twitter, archive. As the Giants continue to ponder their future at quarterback, Josh Rosen will be part of the discussion at least between now and the NFL Draft. But what happens if the Arizona Cardinals don't start fielding offers for Rosen until the draft is underway? That problematic scenario is certainly one possibility, according to multiple NFL sources. At the moment, those sources said, there is no indication the Cardinals have already made Rosen available, even though they are widely expected to draft Oklahoma quarterback Kyler Murray with the No. 1 overall pick. Those sources believe the Cardinals are considering not discussing possible deals for Rosen until after they draft Murray, as a way to keep their options open and not tip their hand. November 12, 2018, Santa Clara, California, USA, New York Giants receiver Quadri Henderson, 15, during the game against the San Francisco 49ers at Levi's Stadium. Mandatory credit, Kirby Lee, USA Today Sports. Kirby Lee. The Giants have waived WR Quadri Henderson, per SNY's Ralph Vacchiano. Henderson, 22, played in his first season with the Giants in 2018, and was primarily used as the team's punt and kick returner. However, with Jabril Peppers coming over in the Odell Beckham Jr. trade with the Browns, head coach Pat Shurmur confirmed that he expects Peppers to be used in the return game. Add in WR Corey Coleman, who had success returning kicks last season, and Henderson no longer has a role with the team. Is Wilson a Giants target? 0 hours 0 minutes and 45 seconds. Wilson apparently wants a deal with the Seahawks or to be traded. Should the Giants entertain trading their first-round picks for the QB? The Giants are well into their search for Eli Manning's successor, and though they are hopeful that Mann is in the NFL draft, there could be an option. Out west in Seattle, news broke this week that Russell Wilson's camp has given the Seahawks an April 15 deadline to hammer out a contract extension, or he will head into free agency at the end of the season. The Seahawks have reportedly known about the deadline since January, but contract negotiations have just started to come up now. The Giants have an intriguing pair of first-round picks that they can give up in exchange for the 30-year-old quarterback. So should GM Dave Gettleman make the call? The Daily News' Pat Leonard broke it down during SNY's The Thread. New York Giants general manager Dave Gettleman speaks to the media during the 2019 NFL Combine at the Indianapolis Convention Center. Brian Spurlock, USA Today Sports, Ralph Vacchiano, Facebook, Twitter, Archive. There is less than a month to go until the Giants can use their 12 picks in the upcoming NFL Draft. Here's a look at how those picks might go. First round, 6 overall, LB Devin White, LSU November 25, 2018, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, USA. New York Giants wide receiver Sterling Shepard, 87, against the Philadelphia Eagles during the fourth quarter at Lincoln Financial Field. Mandatory credit, Eric Hartline, USA Today Sports. Eric Hartline, with Odell Beckham Jr. ready to start his new chapter in Cleveland, Sterling Shepard will enter the new season with much more responsibility in the receiving game. And with his contract expiring at the end of the year, the 2019 season will be very interesting for no. 87, Shepard had his best season in a Giants uniform last year with 66 receptions, 107 targets, for 872 yards and 4 touchdowns. Eli Manning was also fond of throwing him the ball when he needed a third down conversion, as he converted 17 of his 20 third down receptions. The Oklahoma product has proven to be a reliable target with the ability to break out for the big play, which is why he is likely to start camp as the #1 receiver in the room. But things changed when the Giants decided to sign veteran free agent WR Golden Tate to a hefty 4-year, $37.5 million contract, September 8, 2018. College Station, TX, USA, Clemson Tigers defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence, 90, in action during the game against the Texas A. Mandatory credit, Jerome Myron, USA Today Sports. Jerome Myron. The Giants hosted Clemson defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence on a pre-draft visit Tuesday, according to Mike Garofalo of NFL Network. Defensive coordinator James Bettcher was in attendance at Clemson's Pro Day to watch Lawrence, a 6'2", 342-pound nose tackle. The Giants could target Lawrence with either the number 6 or no. 17 pick in the first round as they look to bolster their defense. In November 18, 2018, East Rutherford, NJ, USA, New York Giants tight end Evan Engram, 88, with a long fourth-quarter first down against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at MetLife Stadium. Mandatory credit, Robert Deutsch, USA Today Sports. Robert Deutsch. Ralph Vacchiano, Facebook, Twitter, Archive. Taking one of the 5 best receivers in the game out of an offense isn't the ideal recipe for success. In an NFL era where explosive passing games rule, players like Odell Beckham seem necessary. The more talent and weapons a team has, the more points they're likely to score. So why do the Giants seem to think there's a chance their offense will be better now that Beckham is gone? New York Giants running back Saquon Barkley celebrates after scoring a touchdown against the Washington Redskins in the second quarter at FedEx Field. Jeff Burke, USA Today Sports. Eli Manning isn't the only one who's thrown a touchdown pass to Giants running back Saquon Barkley. Barkley caught a touchdown pass from free agent quarterback Colin Kaepernick on Sunday at a charity flag football game hosted by rapper Quavo. March 2, 2019, Indianapolis, Indiana, USA. Ohio State quarterback Dwayne Haskins, QB05, runs the 40-yard dash during the 2019 NFL Combine at Lucas Oil Stadium. Mandatory credit, Brian Spurlock, USA Today Sports. Brian Spurlock. Ralph Vacchiano, Facebook, Twitter, Archive. Eli Manning is not going to play forever, even though it sometimes feels that way. And though the Giants won't dismiss the idea of him still being their quarterback in 2020, their ideal scenario remains finding his successor right now. So who can they get? For this year, there seem to be only 6 possibilities, using either of their 2 picks in the first round of the NFL Draft, or maybe through a trade. Here's an early ranking of the contenders based on the likelihood that they'll end up as the Giants guy. October 11, 2018, East Rutherford, NJ, USA, New York Giants wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. 13, walks off the field after a 34-13 loss to the Philadelphia Eagles at MetLife Stadium. Mandatory credit, Danielle Parhaskaran /NorthJersey.com via USA Today Network. Danielle Parhaskaran, donning a bright orange Browns cap, Odell Beckham Jr. addressed the Cleveland media for the first time since being traded by the Giants. Beckham sat right in between his new quarterback Baker Mayfield and his longtime friend and wide receiver Jarvis Landry, as he reflected on the moment he got the call from GM Dave Gettleman that he was traded. He said he was eating dinner when his phone rang, and he admitted, "I knew something was going down. I definitely would say that it did," Beckham told reporters when asked if he was surprised. "It's just a lot to process. You start off in New York in your career, and the next thing you know you're here today. I think I've come to grips with everything and processed everything. To see my guys here, I'm excited about this." March 3, 2019, Indianapolis, Indiana, USA, Ohio State defensive lineman Nick Bosa, DL25, goes through workout drills during the 2019 NFL Combine at Lucas Oil Stadium. Mandatory credit, Brian Spurlock USA Today Sports. Brian Spurlock, Ohio State. Nick Bosa is regarded as the top pass rusher in the NFL draft, and he will meet with the Giants on Tuesday. Per Ian Rappaport of NFL Network, it is not likely Bosa will fall to the Giants at the No. 6 pick in the draft, but Big Blue has glaring holes to address on defense, particularly the pass rush. After trading Olivier Vernon to the Browns, the Giants are likely doing their due diligence by meeting with Bosa, whom they would likely need to trade up to select. March 3, 2019, Indianapolis, Indiana, USA, Louisiana State linebacker Devin White, LB41, goes through workout drills during the 2019 NFL Combine at Lucas Oil Stadium. Mandatory credit, Brian Spurlock USA Today Sports. Brian Spurlock. The NFL Draft is less than a month away, and the Giants will be putting together official visits for some of the top prospects they're interested in adding to their big board at the end of April. One of those players is LSU Devin White, who told NOLA.com on Sunday that he will have a pre-draft visit with the Giants. He also mentioned the Buccaneers, who own the number 5 pick before the Giants' 6th overall selection, and the Bengals' number 11 pick, will host him as well. What is considered by many to be the top linebacker in this draft class, with Michigan's Devin Bush also at the top of the heap. Giants certainly need to upgrade their second tier, especially on the outside. White, though, is an inside linebacker that would be projected to take the starting role from B.J. Goodson if the Giants were to bring him aboard. Alec Ogletree, a defensive captain, would be next to him. March 1, 2019, Indianapolis, Indiana, USA, Duke quarterback Daniel Jones, QB07, speaks to media during the 2019 NFL Combine at the Indiana Convention Center. Mandatory credit, Trevor Rishkovsky USA Today Sports. Trevor Rishkovsky, with the Giants controlling the 6th and 17th overall picks in the NFL Draft, there's no doubt the organization is at least considering selecting a quarterback at either spot. One such option is former Duke QB Daniel Jones, who would make more sense at No. 17 if the Giants opt to address another need at No. 6. Two NFL analysts, ESPN's Dan Orlovsky and NBC's Chris Sims, divulged their respective opinions on Jones last week to Ryan Dunleavy of NJ.com. Here are some interesting quotes from the piece that provide possible insight into how teams are evaluating him with less than a month before the draft. September 8, 2018, Houston, Texas, USA. Houston Cougars defensive tackle Ed Oliver, 10, in action during the game against the Arizona Wildcats at TDECU Stadium. Mandatory credit, Troy Tormina USA Today Sports. Troy Tormina. The Giants and Jets are both targeting to improve their defensive front in the NFL Draft next month, and one prospect may have just flew onto their radars. Ed Oliver, a 6'2", 281-pound defensive lineman from the University of Houston, wowed scouts and coaches from all 32 NFL teams at his pro day on Thursday by running his 40-yard dash between 4.71 and 4.73 and a 20-yard short shuttle time of 4.19 seconds, which clocks in faster than Saquon Barkley's 4.24 short shuttle last year, with the No. 6th pick in the NFL Draft. The Giants appear to already have their eye on Oliver and will host him for a top 30 visit at their team facilities in East Rutherford, according to Matt Lombardo of NJ Advance Media. New York Giants wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. catches the ball during warm-ups before facing the New Orleans Saints at MetLife Stadium. Danielle Parhaskaran, USA Today Sports. Before trading Odell Beckham Jr. to the Browns, the Giants were trying to pry the No. 2 pick away from the San Francisco 49ers. Niners GM John Lynch revealed some insight into those negotiations on Friday, telling KNBR that having the No. 2 pick made it difficult to reach a deal with the Giants for Beckham. I think, ironically, the fact that we had the No. 2 pick made it more difficult because they wanted that badly, he said. They wanted 2 no ones and we weren't willing to part with that. It was too valuable of a pick. September 16, 2018, Arlington, Texas, USA. New York Giants running back Saquon Barkley, 26, and quarterback Eli Manning, 10, on the field before the game against the Dallas Cowboys at it. Mandatory credit. Tim Heitman, USA Today Sports. Tim Heitman, Saquon Barkley doesn't want to hear anyone complaining about Eli Manning, either. The Giants made a few controversial moves this offseason that has forced many to question if there really is a plan in East Rutherford. And while Landon Collins walked in, Odell Beckham Jr. was surprisingly traded to the Browns. The team has shown continued faith in Manning. Manning is no stranger to fans wanting him to call it quits, but Barkley is sick of hearing he can't play the game anymore. The rookie sensation didn't hold back when asked about it. March 1, 2019, Indianapolis, Indiana, USA. Duke quarterback Daniel Jones, QB07, speaks to media during the 2019 NFL Combine at the Indiana Convention Center. Mandatory credit. Trevor Rishkovsky, USA Today Sports. Trevor Rishkovsky, as the Giants search for Eli Manning's successor, they're doing their due diligence on the quarterbacks in the 2019 NFL Draft class, and Pat Shurmur is going to get an up-close look at a possible first-round pick. Duke quarterback Daniel Jones will visit the Giants on Thursday for a private workout, a source told SNY's Ralph Vacchiano. Giants offensive coordinator Mike Shula was at Duke's pro day on Tuesday while Shurmur was at the NFL owners' meetings, so Shurmur will use Thursday as a chance to get his own look at Jones. Kirby, Ralph Vacchiano, Facebook, Twitter, Archive Phoenix. Perhaps you've heard, the Giants have a plan. They've been pretty insistent on that over the last week. Also, their purge of some of their most popular players was just business. It certainly wasn't personal with Odell Beckham, whom all the key people in the organization insist they genuinely liked. All that, of course, is part of the company line. But what have we really learned about what the Giants think and are doing over the last 4 days? After speaking to co-owners John Mara and Steve Tisch, coach Pat Shurmur, and multiple sources inside and outside of the organization, here are 10 takeaways from the Giants' time at the NFL's annual owners' meetings at the Arizona Biltmore Hotel, February 27, 2019, Indianapolis, Indiana, USA. New York Giants general manager Dave Gettleman speaks to the media during the 2019 NFL Combine at the Indianapolis Convention Center. Mandatory credit.